Are you ready for start time?
What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the NinerSickness podcast and the Niner Fanatic podcast, coming together, uniting together, myself and Pete, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone is ready to have some fun. Pete, how you doing, my friend? You ready to talk some 49er football?
Yes, it's going down, our weekly show. I'm excited to be here, Beto. Excited to see all the energy already popping up in the chat. Everybody's tapped in, and we're in the middle of training camp. All the juices are flowing. Pads are finally on, and I'm ready to go. How about you?
I'm fired up, man. Football's here. We got a couple of scrubbles, fights. And that's just an indication that these guys are fired up. They're ready to win. They don't hate each other. They're brothers. They know that, but they're competing and they want to compete. So I like the fire. I love the fire within them. I'm excited to see what transpires this year. I believe, man, again, this could be just me being the rah-rah guy, the emotional Niner fan, but I really feel this is our year, man. This is going to be a year when we get that Lombardi trophy and bringing it back to San Francisco.
I've been saying, and honestly, I said it last year, and I thought we could have had it last year, but I think that this team is the deepest it's been. Somehow they found a way to improve upon the number one defense, in my opinion. Also, I think that this offense is going to benefit from some consistency and some continuity, and having all of their weapons hopefully ready to go week one. We're no injuries so far, knock on wood. And we just want to get there healthy and ready to go.
Yeah. The whole injury, man, we definitely gotta stay away from that. Knock on wood, break down the damn wall, get a beaver, whatever we got to do. Particularly at the quarterback situation, right? We get hurt. We get prayer to get dropping from every position, but particularly the freaking quarterback. I mean, what team have you you can remember that went to their emergency quarterback, which is the running back, in an NFC championship game?
Yeah, never. I've never seen it. I don't think it's ever happened. I don't know that it's ever happened.
That's one of those records you don't want to create, right? You don't want to make that type of records.
Yeah.
What's up, John V? Just let me acknowledge everyone real
John?
quick. Let me say hello. Jimmy Perez is in the house. We got Don Dotson. We got John in the house. We got Brandon in the house. How you doing, Brandon? We got Bryant in the house. We got my girl Tanisha in the house. How you doing, Tanisha? We got John V in the house. How you doing, John V? Oh, man, I'm excited at what I've been hearing about camp. Listen, I know that a lot of Niner fans, we get caught up in the whole quarterback situation, right? And which is fine. Yeah. It's something to talk about. But I don't know if you've seen the video, and I don't have it up. I should have had it ready. But the video where Steve Wilkes is working one-on-ones with Lenore and Ward, and Ward is doing that feet work going backwards, and you can see those are the things that really, really excite me, Pete. I know we talk about who's going to be quarterback one, blah, 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 but we can't forget about the other aspects of the team that are doing good. Hey, I heard that TDP looks
Mhm.
incredibly different from last year. Those are positive notes. And those are the notes that I want to hit today, man. The positive stuff, not the, you know, who's QB1, who's going to be QB2. We'll talk about that towards the end. But what have you thought so far on the whole Steve Wilkes with the corners and the
So
tight and the running back?
so I'm really it's something that we haven't seen, and I tweeted out the first day that I saw one of those videos was that it's turning a weakness into a strength. The one perceived weakness of this 49er defense has been the secondary. And for Steve Wilkes to come in, we're expecting we know that he's been a historically a good defensive coordinator. But the one thing that's going to really make it better for the 49ers is that the one, like I said, the one perceived weakness is the secondary. And what is his strength? His strength is the secondary. And he's getting out there and showing these guys technique, not just scheming it up, but showing them the actual techniques that's going to help them in this system. Is not just help them in the system, but be able to help them in and get takeaways and batted balls, all that kind of stuff, just putting them in position to succeed. And so I'm supremely excited about what we're going to see from this secondary this year. That's what I'm going to have my eyes glued to the TV about when I'm watching this defense, is because I know that the defensive line is going to be monstrous. I know that's going to happen. That we know what to expect from Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. What I'm gonna have my eyes glued to the TV about is that secondary, and I want to see the growth of Huff. I want to see the growth of a Diamador Lenore. So I'm extremely excited about that. And then you're talking about the running backs. So another piece of a tidbit of news was the 49ers signed Frank Gore onto the front office, as well as what is his name? Safety, our old safety. Uh,
Deshaun Golston.
they signed Deshaun Goldson on to the front office just as like talent, like to help with talent evaluation. And Gore was talking about TDP today, saying how really good that he looked yesterday. I guess they were looking at Alex Smith was on the field.
Yep.
There's a couple of other guys on the field, and they were talking about how good TDP actually looks. So I'm extremely excited. And I had said in the past that I thought TDP might be kind of the odd man out in this offense, but it goes to show it doesn't not we don't know what's going to happen from year to year.
Nope.
These guys take on that challenge of being. He is not Trey Sermon. He's not the same person
Yep.
because
Might have been taken in the third round,
yeah,
but that's about it.
first year doesn't mean that he's going to have the same mentality as a Trey Sermon. And it looks like he took it to heart, went in, got in the lab, and came out looking a lot better. So I'm extremely excited about both.
Yeah, I'm fired up about TDP, Travis Davis Price. I like him in LSU. People do want to make the comparison, and I'm glad you brought it up, Pete. The comparison between Trey Sermon and DDP, just because one was cut, taken
Hmm.
in the third round, has nothing to do with another running back taken in the same round. Each individual, my mom used to always say in Spanish, "Se te prendió el foco," means the light went on.
Oh,
And
okay.
sometimes players, they need to have the light go on. They're trying to, the first year they're trying to work with learning the system, trying to learn a lot of stuff. They're juggling a lot of things in their head. And sometimes they get off to a slow start. But it
Mm.
seems like se le prendió el foco to TDP, and he looks like he's looking good, man. So I'm fired up for him. I mean, listen, any player that is doing good for our San Francisco 49ers is always great news. I
Mhm.
always want to see everyone shine from the first, third, or second uh, teams. I want to succeed because I want depth on the team as well. I want to bring up a real quick question or trying to answer this. I don't know if you heard. I haven't heard anything, but
Mhm.
Daniel Cantu says someone told me that Debo got hurt. Is it true? I don't know
I
who
have
those sources are, but I would think there was no practice today. They're
yeah.
off today, so I think we would have heard that all over the news,
Yeah. I would
particularly
think
this
that would
Debo.
be everywhere.
So the fact that I haven't heard anything, but from you right now, I gotta believe it's not true. I would definitely have to check with your sources again, Daniel. Tell your
Yeah.
sources, stop lying.
Yeah. Yeah, I just looked at there's nothing.
Nothing.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, that's good because I was like, "What? What's up, Niners Ultimate Report? How you doing, John Jay? Welcome to the channel." So I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad about that. Yeah, I'm fired. I'm a defensive guy, Pete. I love the offense. I know offense points puts points, and to me, I always used to say, and I still do,
Mhm.
offense fills the stadium,
Mhm.
but defense win
Win
championships.
championships. Yep,
and,
for
and
sure.
that's my belief. And I know that the whole everything is trying to be changed towards the offense, but you still need a good defense because you can put up all the points that you want on one side, but if you can't stop the opposite offense doing the same, then where does it stop? So you
Mhm.
gotta bring that defense. And when you said, I've been hearing great things about Drake Jackson. I've been hearing great things about, believe it or not. Now, this is training camp. It's not real games. We'll see. I heard it before, but Kinlaw has been looking very good,
Beastly.
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 Now, can he do shit with it? We don't know. We'll
Yeah.
find out.
Can he stay healthy is the question.
But
And they've been trying him out at from what I heard, they were trying him out, like they gave him some reps at edge,
okay,
and like he looked really good on the edge, which is crazy to think a 290 pound edge rusher, but they said he looked really good at the edge spot. So I who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen with Kinlaw?
um, real quick, Daniel, my boy Pete is also in Texas.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to get information from the Niners, hook up with Pete. Pete will keep you updated.
Oh, for sure.
Because he says this is Texas, can't get good updates
Oh
here.
yeah, we all got the internet, we all got Twitter, we all got
Don't assume. Don't assume
YouTube.
everybody has it.
Oh, that's true. But I can give you all of the good people to follow. We've got tons and tons of good beat writers, good content creators that all give you a little bit different spice and a little different taste, a different perspective. So you can get it however you want your news. That there's somebody out there for you.
Exactly. And just to tap on what you're saying about Mr. 99
Oh,
as a
say
ro- as
shout
a
out
ro-
Bashar. Did you shout out Bashar?
of course.
Okay, yeah, because
Of
I want to
course.
give Bashar his flowers. Like he got to 1,000
Oh, I didn't
subscribers.
know.
Yeah, he got to 1,000 subscribers. So give that man his flowers. Like, good job, Bashar.
And then I'm gonna do a little Ric Flair for him.
Yeah. Woo!
There you go, Bashar. Hey, congratulations at getting to 1K on your YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to his channel if you haven't subscribed already. Go follow him. 49er
Absolutely.
Minded. He has great guests on his, and he has great topics
Mhm.
that he talks about. And he's one of our content creator brothers. So
And he
go
talks
make sure
pizza.
to support him.
And he talks pizza.
And he
If you
talks
like talking
pizza.
pizza.
Yeah, you can never go wrong talking pizza.
Yeah.
So Kinlaw, I think being a rotational player, not necessarily being the go-to guy where you have to depend on him, I think that's going to ease him in. He's not going to be in every snap. He's going to be able just to go in there and rotate. So I think that's going to be a benefit. I
Hmm.
also heard that on Tuesday, since it's Taco Tuesday, the Niners got really Mexican and went after a taco themselves in Taco Charleston.
Yeah.
Uh, defensive end, hasn't really done very well. He's been going from catering truck to catering truck,
Hmm.
and he hasn't become a favorite on the meal yet on the menu. Do you think that Chris Kaserik can get something out of him?
So I mean, the minute that they announced him being signed, he was on the practice field
Yes, and
and
had a sack.
had a sack, did excellent in 1v1s, and it was they said for all intents and purposes he did really well, which I expect him to be solid because he's a vet. Like, and so he's going to know the basics. But what I expect from, I mean, he's another first round pick reclamation project, and you know that the athleticism is going to be there. It's a question of, does Chris Kaser, and I know Chris Kaserik really hasn't probably had a chance to do anything with him yet, but can Chris Kaserik work him in? I mean, the real reason why he was brought in was because people have to notice that. I don't know if people have noticed or not, but Kalia Davis hasn't been on the field. Austin Bryant hasn't been on the field. We don't know what they're dealing with, but they haven't been on the field at all. So them being unavailable, they needed another camp body. But just because they need another camp body does not mean that you don't take advantage of your situation. And I think that's what Taco Charlton came with the mindset.
Oh, of course, of course. You may
Hmm.
be brought. You're absolutely right, Pete. You, as an individual, you're brought in to camp as a camp body because, for one, Bosa hasn't signed yet. Two, the other players, like you said, Kalia Davis and Austin Bryan, haven't been in the rotation. So you bring this guy in. What he does to impress the defensive coordinator is going to go a long way. Not only for the Niners, let's say he does good, and the Niners, because we have so many players on the depth chart, still have to cut him. Well,
Hmm.
he just put some solid recent tape for other teams to look at. So either whether it's with us or with another team, it's always good to give your A game in every chance you get, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, that's what they're all here for, is to, like you said, put tape out for somebody else to, if we don't make it here, somebody else is going to need somebody. And to be honest, somebody wants a piece of that. Somebody always wants a piece of that 49er culture. And that's going to get, it's almost like something to put on the resume. Yes, I played for the 40. Yes, I played for Chris Kasurik. So, because I mean, all those guys have gone other places and have played well.
Yep, absolutely. And Tanisha, regarding your question about Brock, please stay tuned to the channel.
Mm.
We're going to discuss that more towards the end of the show. We're going to end it on the quarterback. So hang in there. I'm not trying to avoid your question or ignore it. We will answer it. But towards the end, right now, I just really want to talk about other areas because every content creator right now starts off their show, most of them with a quarterback.
Yep.
I would like to look at other faces of the team because there's 11 on 11, 55 players on the roster active, or 53, but then you get two off the practice squads. So I want to talk about, I want to give flowers to them. I want to give flowers to Brandon Ayuk. Brandon
Mm.
Ayuk, once again, has been tearing it up in camp. He is unstoppable. He doesn't drop the ball. If you get the ball within a mile from him, he'll catch
Hmm.
it. And I'm being sarcastic with that, but you get my drift.
Yeah.
The guy is on fire. Debo looks good, great
Hmm.
shape. He's in it, man. Listen, when you got two receivers, bro, and we'll talk about the other ones, but you got two receivers like Debo and Brandon looking good, playing good, feeling good.
Hmm.
That's a good formula for success this season, isn't it, Pete?
Ah, man. Like, this is the thing. Brandon Ayuk is coming off 1,000 yard season.
Yep,
Uh, Debo is coming off of, for him, a disappointing season.
yep,
I would personally like to see Debo be used more as a wide receiver. Like,
yes, yes,
but they've already been running sweeps and like practicing sweeps. I've heard, I heard that they were doing. So I don't think that the wide back stuff is going to necessarily go away, but I would like to see it kind of phase itself out. I think that they have four good running backs. I don't think that it's necessary, but I still am really pleasantly surprised that he came in shape and that he is really working hard on his. From what I understand, he's really working hard on his route running. He's getting better at making himself available for the quarterbacks. They've been involving him in the passing game, which is huge. But to talk about Brandon Ayuk, this is a guy that has the tools. He has the tools. They're there. He's refining them. He's sharpening his knives. And this is, I just don't think there's anybody in this league that can really guard him one on one. I don't think there was really anybody that could guard him one on one last year. The only thing that sucks for him is that he's on the 49ers with all this talent, and it's going to be really hard for him to get the touches to really show what he's capable of all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I'm fired up, man. Listen, I love when a player openly says, "I didn't like what I did last year,"
Love the
and
accountability.
yes, accountability. That's the word I was trying to get in my head. Thank you for helping out there. Um, Kyle said it. Kyle believes that Brandon, I mean, excuse me, Debo played a good season, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not mad at a player wanting to improve. Now, Debo understood. Okay, I went the offseason last year. I was going through for a new contract. I was going through the whole emotion situations. I didn't really prepare. I didn't really have a complete offseason because I was so caught up in all this other crazy stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it took effect in him, at least for him, for how
Yeah.
he knows what he can do. And he confessed that. He's like, I let that get to me. And this year, I'm going to do my best. And then he comes into camp in shape. So that's pretty much putting your foot where your mouth is at and backing it up. You know, you're not just speaking and not backing up. You're actually backing it up by coming into shape. So I'm excited to see with him. Jennings has been looking good.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Ty Martin has been looking
St.
good.
Martin. Chris
Um,
Conley. I don't know what his first name
oh,
is.
Chris Conley, yes, the
Yes, he
veteran.
is.
I heard about him
He
too.
looked really good. I've heard a lot of good things about him. So that's another name to keep an eye on because they said they keep mistaking. Some of the beat writers have been saying they mistake him for Ayuk all the time, but he's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, yeah, he's
So
looking good. What's his name? Bal from the Wolverine has been looking deep. Now, I
yeah,
have one thing I haven't heard.
Ronnie Bell made a one-handed catch. They said along the sideline. He's been making contested catches, just kind of showing his toughness. I love I like because I'm go blue all day, like Michigan, and I just with guys coming out of Harbaugh's system, you really just never know what their strength is actually gonna
True.
be because Harbaugh's system is terrible. So it's just you just don't know what's going to come out of there unless it's a running back, because that's really all they do
Now, one thing I do like, and I want to add, before I do that, I just want to acknowledge 187s in the house. Bang Bang Niner gang,
all
welcome.
day.
What I want to add to that is, you're right. You don't know what Harbaugh players are going to turn out to be, but on the good side is Ronnie Bell's dad is an active college receiving coach.
Oh, okay.
Right now, he's coaching, and that's what he coaches, the receiving position. So that tells me that this kid, Bell, has been learning that position from probably a high. And he probably knows.
Mm,
That's why he looks like a veteran in a lot of those plays. It's because he has a dad that actually is a college coach at that position. You know that has to help a player out. So even though you don't know what Harbaugh, but this I know the dad always works with kids, right?
mm-hmm.
You always had to work with your kid. And you always want to put the best foot forward as a dad with your kids. So I'm excited to
Absolutely.
see what he does. Now, does it mean he'll make the team? I don't know. It's going to be the competition at receiving core. It's going to be tough. We normally carry what, 6 receivers?
Yeah, about 5 or 6. Yeah, I think we only carried 5 last year,
Is it 5 or
this
6? I always
past
thought
year,
it was 6.
because we had Debo, Ayuk, uh,
Ray,
Ray,
uh,
Jennings,
Janet.
and we would keep what's his name, Willie Snead from time to time,
Yeah, Willis
just
Snead.
to so like just for special teams. That's it.
Yeah.
So I think they only had like five because,
So they might make. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I wouldn't, yeah, I don't bring it out of the realm of possibility that they bring on six.
Maybe this year just because of all the players that are there. Now,
Yeah.
one thing I haven't heard in camp is Ray Ray.
Yeah, no, I've heard him. He's caught a few balls,
Okay,
and
good,
and
good,
I
good.
know that Sam Darnold has thrown him a couple of nice balls. Trey threw him a couple, and
Okay, okay,
so no,
that's good.
he's been involved. He's been involved. He's just, you know. Oh, and Danny Gray. I forgot about Danny Gray.
Danny Gray, yes. I heard
That's
he's
what it
looking
was.
good.
And Danny Gray is looking. They said he's looking physical, and that was the word used, which is,
In going down the middle, where normally we know he goes long, but they're using
yeah,
him as a slot.
yeah. I mean, but the thing is, we know Danny Gray has the speed
Yes.
for them to use the word physical. Tells me that if he's willing to get involved in blocking and like all that kind of stuff, I mean, that's a recipe for, because I mean, the only thing that was that's holding Danny Gray back is like kind of tailoring his speed to his quarterback and making himself available, but not just running through the zone as fast as he can. And then the quarterback goes through his reads, and Danny Gray's already off the board. Like it's about making yourself available, running the route, and then using your speed once once you've got the ball in your hands. I think that's what Kyle's offense is predicated on, and for him he's going to have to learn how to get those yards after the catch. And that's how he needs to think of using his speed. So but I man, if Danny Gray can figure it out, it's it's just not fair. It's not, it gets to the point to where it's not fair. 49ers have so much talent, and a lot of it is the scheme, but I mean, they just have so much talent on this team, uh, that wide receivers are undrafted guys, and the guys we're picking off the scrap heap, like Chris Conley and like a couple of other guys that they've gotten, Tay Martin, and they're looking like world beaters because of this scheme and because of the quarterbacks. I think the quarterbacks, for the most part, are playing well.
Yeah, they are. Angel, just want to say hello. Welcome to the channel. It says, who do you think is going to be the starting quarterback for preseason? Now, that's
Yeah.
not really talking about the quarterbacks like Tanisha. We're going to get in more in depth in a few minutes. But who do you think will start? Trey?
Oh, I think Trey. I think one game it's going to be Trey, one game it's going to be Darnold, and I think that whoever kind of
You don't
shows
think
up and
Brock
shows out.
doesn't start at all?
No, no.
Okay.
Maybe the last game.
Well,
Maybe the
that
last game
see, that's the
briefly.
thing. The middle game, not the first game, but the middle game is the one they play the quarterback, and then the last one they play all scrubs.
Yeah, but I think that these preseason games this year are going to be so important for pecking order that I don't think it's going to look like it normally would. Like it would if they had a definitive starter, like if they had a definitive guy, they came out and said, "He's it. That's it." And like that was it. That was the case, then I think that you could go by what all teams normally do. But 49ers have shown you over and over and over again, they don't care. They don't care what everybody else does. And I just think that Trey is going to get, I think he's going to get a look. I think Sam Darnold's going to get a look. I think they want to see as much as they possibly can. I don't think a lot of defensive starters are going to play for the 49ers. And I don't think that like the Debos and the Brandon Ayuks are going to get a lot of run. But I think that they're going to give a lot of run to extended run to Trey Lance and Sam Darnold.
That is interesting. Interesting. To see what happens. Yeah, I don't know if Brock. Um, I would think Brock would start maybe one series,
Yeah,
and that's it, and he's
that's
out.
it.
He's gone. Because I don't think nobody really. I mean, Brock. I mean, Trey, or personally myself, I think that Brandon Allen is not going to play neither. Not the first game, not the second game, but he's going to pretty much play the whole second half
Mm.
of the last game, which is the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they normally do it for the lowest on the pulling pole, whatever you want to say it. But
Yeah.
um, I think it's going to be Brock for a series, then Trey, and then Sam, and maybe game two, Brock for a series, maybe Sam, and then Trey. Kind of get a kind of get feel, or Brock doesn't play at all. I wouldn't be mad with it. I
Yeah.
don't think Brock needs to. I'm more concerned, and I'm more excited to hear. Not concerned. I'm more excited about the scrimmage game against the Raiders than I
Mm-hmm.
am about any of the preseason games.
And
So
how he plays in that scrimmage. I think
yeah,
how Brock plays in that scrimmage is going to tell you what they're gonna is kind of gonna give
yeah,
them an idea of what they're gonna do in preseason.
yeah, and if they see enough from Brock in that scrimmage, you don't know what are you really going to see in preseason.
Mm-hmm.
From Brock. You already know what Brock already showed you on tape what he can do last year.
Mm-hmm.
The one you want to put more on tape is Trey and Sam, and Trey because of the potential. Sam because we want to know if he's learning. How fast is he learning this system? How much has he caught up from day one until now? So I'm excited to see what they do in this preseason games.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I just that's why I'm saying I just see Trey and Sam Darnold getting the lion's share. I don't know how they're gonna time it out exactly, but I would imagine that they're gonna try and keep Brock as healthy as possible. They want to kind of ease him in and not take any chances with him.
Yep.
Like so
We got our boy Randy Daytona in the house.
what's going
What's
on,
up,
Randy?
Randy? Woo! What's up, Randy? How you doing, my friend? And Don, I hope you're feeling better, man. That
Yeah.
you got to check out that nasty cough. I don't like
Oh,
those when I hear somebody cough and they're continuous to cough, man. You gotta.
I know that I know all about that weather change. She's talking about the weather change, and it's out here in Texas, like with the weather change comes. It is just brutal. It
Really?
is brutal, man. Like
Yeah.
I didn't have real bad like allergies and like coughing like when I had lived in California, but like when I moved out here, man, I had the worst cough for the longest time, and I found out it was allergies of all things. And yeah, it was like a lingering cough for like 2 weeks, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And the my pharmacist told me, he says, "Oh, you need to take a Zyrtec. It's the pollen."
The pollen. Yeah, I'm allergic to pollen, man. My doctor. This is years ago. Told me get a boat, go into the middle of the ocean, and then get rid of the boat because you're probably allergic to the wood. So
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, So let me answer this question. First and foremost, let me welcome crazy guy. Uh, welcome to the channel. But unfortunately, we can't stream the games because YouTube will shut us down quicker than quick.
Mm,
We can talk about the game, which I'm not going to do for a preseason game. But if we stream it, YouTube will shut us down so quick. It's not even funny. So
yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I'm pretty sure Pete's not going to do it. So I hope you find a way to watch it, crazy guy.
What channel is it going to be on?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't watch it. So it can be in whatever channel it
I'm
wants to
I'm
be.
so thirsty for football that like I don't even
The
care who it
worst
is.
one is
I think
always
it's
the
the
Hall of Fame
Browns.
game.
The Browns and somebody.
Hey, I know that the players they announced to become a Hall of Famer, but have they announced the winners of the Hall of Fame this year or
I
no?
think they did already, but it wasn't the guys that I wanted, so I didn't pay attention. Oh,
Eh,
the Rondé Barber's one of them. I
So
remember
none of none
Rondé
of the
Barber.
coaches or Roger Craig get it.
Roger Craig didn't get it.
Wow. How
He's on
about
the ballot. he's on the ballot for next year. They said he's looking like he's going to be maybe one of the finalists next year.
Still, man, that's such a. And then it was what's his name?
I don't know how Rondé Barber gets in and Roger Craig doesn't get in, but
I'm telling you. And then the
it's
two head coaches, the both coach of the Niners. It was I forgot. Any coaches make it in? Do you know?
I don't know offhand. I'm gonna look it up though.
Okay. What's up? Luis Moreno is in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Um, Randy says NFL Plus 360. Oh yeah, yeah. You can. I think he meant free though. I believe he's crazy guy is 15, so he's under. He can't pay for it himself. Well, he can, but
Yeah, is it what is it on Prime?
yeah. No, it's is it on Prime? I get it.
Uh,
I get it from the NFL Network. I mean, the NFL.com.
oh, Don Coryell, the Chargers head coach.
Oh, okay. He made it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Palomalu.
Yeah, I no. He already made it a few years ago.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. This 2021. Why are they not? Why are they not?
I'm like Palomalo. No, no.
No, let me see. 20.
Let's see. Oh no, I only
Oh,
have
here we go.
antenna TV.
So it is Rondé Barber, Don Coryell, Chuck Howley, linebacker, Chicago Bears and longtime Dallas Cowboy. Joe Klecko, I remember him. Defensive end for mainly the Jets, and Darrell Revis.
Oh, he made it in.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. He made it in his first valet, right? This is his first year.
Yeah, I want to say it's his first ballot because he stopped playing in 2017.
Wow,
So
good for him.
and
Bad for Roger
Ken
Craig.
Riley, Cincinnati Bengal cornerback, old like he retired in the 80s. Joe Thomas,
Joe Thomas.
tackle for the Browns.
Yes. Oh, I know Joe Thomas.
He's a first ballot, and Zach Thomas.
Oh, the linebacker
Yeah. Oh, Demarcus
for
Ware.
Miami.
Demarcus Ware too.
He made it.
Yep, Demarcus Ware made it. I don't know how. I mean, he must. His numbers are probably better than I remember. Like, because I mean, I always thought he was good, but I mean, I can think of a few players that kind of deserve to be in there.
Well, Patrick Willis was not even a finalist.
That's my thing. Is I think Patrick Willis is to me is more impactful, but Demarcus Ware got his ring finally. I think when he was with Denver.
Yeah, but this is based on personal accolades, not as a team.
I get it. I like.
Apparently, they don't.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I think Patrick Willis was. I mean, he was a force of
Pro
nature.
Bowler for every single year, All Pro.
Yeah, he was a force of nature, and like and people, but people just don't want to. I mean, I think Navarro Bowman honestly deserves consideration, and
I agree.
there's a bunch of players that I feel like deserve consideration, but it is what it is. Like they got their little
Yeah, they got their.
Rondé Barber. I'm sorry. Like I was around for Rondé Barber,
So
and
was
like
that.
he was a
He's
good
okay
player.
corner.
He was a good player. He was never ever the best considered the best at his position.
No, there were better corners.
I mean, he wasn't. I wouldn't even say ever even in the top 5 in cornerbacks. And not to talk bad about Rondé Barber, he was a good player. But when we're talking about the Hall of Fame, you've got Roger Craig still sitting out there, Patrick Willis, who was the best at his position for
Yeah.
multiple years. Like I don't get it. But
What was Ronnie Barber's brother? Tiki Barber, right?
Tiki.
Did he
And
make it?
I think Tiki's in already.
Tiki as a running back for the Giants?
Yeah, I want to say he's in already.
Oh, well, at least both Barbers got in.
Yeah, it's wild.
I mean,
Like,
I'm don't get me wrong. I'm happy for him as I'm pretty sure he's ecstatic as a player. Anybody that gets in, whether we agree with it or not, good for them. They
yeah,
deserve it. But we can be a little bit biased, right? We're like, wait a minute, what about our players? And not only because we're Niner fans, but because of what they did. I'm not
mm,
saying put in Patrick Willis just because he wore the red and gold. Put him in because of what he did in the 7 years that he was in the league. He was dominant. He
yeah.
was the best at that position, an all pro, pro bowler each and every year. Um, Got to put some respect on it on
Tiki
him.
Barber is not in. Tiki Barber is not in. Thank goodness that, like, for my psyche.
He's not in.
Like,
Well, he wasn't that good of a running back.
he was good. He was a really good running back. He just, I mean, he had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 yard seasons and almost 7. But like, and I mean, there was a couple of years where he had like 1,800, 1,600, 1,500 yards. And with, he only had over 10 touchdowns twice. But, yeah, he always had he had a really bad problem with
Was he on the
injuries.
team when they won the both Super Bowls against the Patriots?
He was on the team then.
Okay. Do you think Frank Gore gets in his first ballot?
Ooh, he should. It to me, and I know that there is a lot of people that we did a whole Twitter space about this. Jesse and Vish came on, and and we talked about it. I got really angry because I thought that they were uh
Going
kind
to be
of
supportive towards
yeah,
Frankie?
like I mean this is the thing, and I get it. I get it that we want to be subjective and that we want to talk about like because their argument was that he was never the best in the league, and I said
Whoa, whoa,
okay,
whoa. Say that again?
that Frank Gore was never the best. He was never the best running back in the league. He never had a season where he was the best running back in the
No,
league.
that's true.
Like, but he played on terrible teams. He played on terrible teams, and those running backs that they're talking about, like that were the best running backs in the league, they were not on terrible teams.
That's true.
Like so, I look at he was the entire offense for the 49ers during his years. Like so, and that was my nickname for him was the offense.
Really?
Like I used to call him the offense because he was
Not
the
the tank,
only.
but the
Yeah, no,
offense. I
I
like
called
it.
him the offense because what else were they going to do but give him the ball?
Yeah, he was the main horse in the race.
Like I mean, who did they have? Who did they have a quarterback at the time? Tim
Oh my
Rattay,
God. Alex Smith.
Alex Smith, Tim Rattay, Sean.
Oh, that's
Uh,
right. He came in 2005
yeah,
where oh my God, that's right.
like
He had some shitty ass quarterbacks.
crappy.
He had Tim Rattay, he had the other guy that
Ken Dorsey.
oh my God, yeah. So people want to bring him as a head coach over here. I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, he can't even figure out how to run the ball.
No, yeah, bro. It's like, you know, and some people really want like me. We were on yesterday. Me and Dion from Niner Gang podcast, which I love the guy. He's a big supporter of Trey Lance, huge supporter of Trey Lance, and that's all good. But he's like, you know what? He's really fed up with Kyle Shanahan because we
Mhm.
haven't won a Super Bowl yet, and he's like, and I asked him the question: if we get rid of Kyle, who do you replace him with? And his answer was the Eric the Enemy. And I'm
Oh,
like, what has Eric the Enemy done to convince you he can do better than Kyle? You can't even get a head coaching job.
and I mean, the reason why he can't get a head coaching job is stuff that I don't want to really talk about on your show. Like, I mean, that's it's personal issues for him is the reason why he hasn't
Oh,
gotten a
okay.
head coaching job. Like, but and people don't really want to bring it up as much, but that's really the reason.
Oh, you got to tell me
Like,
after the show, bro, because I
yeah,
don't
for
know.
sure, for sure. Like, it's just, I mean, it's unfortunate because it was a long time ago. Like, but but I still think that dogs him
It,
because these teams look for any little piece to to uh, to like give them a reason not to hire somebody sometimes, and yeah, it's unfortunate.
that sucks to the core. So let's, as we're gonna get ready to finish the show, let's talk about the quarterback situation. I'm gonna start with you, man. I'm just gonna get your perspective of what you've been hearing. You don't have to name the person you've been listening to if
Hmm.
you want to, but what have you been hearing from all the quarterbacks, and what are your thoughts on each and every one of them so far?
So this is my thing about the quarterback situation right now. Brock is obviously their guy to me, just because if you're paying attention, he's getting all the first team reps. They are giving him all of the first team reps, and rightly so. Like I rightly so. We talked about earlier about how he what he did last year in winning. He didn't lose a game until he got hurt. And I mean he won two playoff games and got to the NFC Championship game. And he wasn't just there for the ride like Jimmy Garoppolo was. This is a man that was really a big part of the reason why the Niners were playing so well last year. So that Brock played well. He did. I think he deserves what he's getting. But you've also got Trey Lance and Sam Darnold. So Trey Lance and Sam Darnold absolutely have played well in this camp. Trey Lance has stacked multiple days now. Three that I know, that I'm pretty confident saying he stacked three in a row that were really good, and he's making good throws. He's keeping the ball out of harm's way from all reports. And Sam Darnold had a bad day yesterday, but he had been playing well. It's a good problem to have, and people might take it and look at it as we don't know what it is, and the because they're so wishy-washy about who's going to be the starter and like all the other stuff that it's a bad thing for the team. I don't necessarily think so, because Kyle Shanahan has built this culture around the best man gets to play. And but this is the thing to think about is don't get caught up in the starter right now. We're talking like Brock Purdy is the starter right now. Kyle's attitude, if you've paid attention to Kyle over the years, he's fluid, and he is open to new information. If Because you got to think about this. Trey and Sam Darnold give him something that he absolutely cannot get out of Brock Purdy. They have the arm strength and the athleticism that Brock cannot duplicate. Now, what Brock gives you is he gives you that he is a steady engine in this offense. He's really good at his pre-snap reads. He is really good with his short accuracy and even mid accuracy. Like where he struggles is getting the ball deep. He has to get his whole body into throws to get the ball deep and lead his receiver. That is something that Trey Lance and Sam Darnold have no problem doing. Where Trey struggles is historically has been the short throws, and he's still showing that he's struggling from time to time with those short throws and their gimme throws. And to the point to where he's staying after the practice to work on those gimme throws and those short throws. So he knows it's an issue. But if he can get to the point to where he's being consistent with those throws, we're only 6 days into training camp. He has
Yep.
plenty of time. He has plenty of time. It's all about it. It's there. I think it's entirely possible that he changes Kyle's mind. And another thing to think about, all of a sudden, the national media has kind of switched up. A couple of days ago, they were showing old tape and trying to say that Trey Lance was looking terrible in camp, and they got lit up for it. One of them, One of them even deleted his tweet because he got called out for it. Like it it comes down to this. Maybe they're hearing how good Trey Lance. Maybe they're just getting told by the team to talk about Trey Lance because they want to build up his trade value. There's many different ways this could go, but stay open to that. This isn't over. I would tell the fans to stay open to this isn't over because and just be open to whoever starts.
Yes.
Like be whoever starts because think about this. Most of the time in training camps, one quarterback looks like trash, another quarterback looks really good. All
Yeah.
of our quarterbacks are looking solid. All of them. We're nitpicking over a fumble here and an almost pick here and one pick in one day. We're nitpicking.
Yes, we
Like
are.
and if you're and once you start nitpicking, that means that all of them are pretty solid. You just got to pick the one that gives you the best chance. So I think Kyle is going to pick the one that's going to give him the best chance. I don't think that he is going to if somebody is glaringly better than the rest, I don't think that he's going to hesitate. And because he wants to win. That's my rant and that's
No, no, no. You're right. You're right.
yeah.
I think we we tend to get spoiled a little bit. We know a lot of us. We grew up with the Joe Montanas, the Steve Young, the Jeff Garcias, the Alex Smiths, the Kaepernicks, um,
Mhm.
and we want most importantly what this team, what the young, hungry Niners are. They want to win a Super Bowl, and they
Yeah.
want it now. Now, unfortunately, in this world, we are all drive-through microwave generation.
Mhm.
Nothing. People don't have the patience to cook at home. Yes, I use food as an illustration because I'm a big guy. But you want a good meal, you cook it, you prepare it, and you enjoy it. Everybody wants the microwave.
Put the
Let's get
hot
to
sauce
Super
on
Bowl
it too.
now. And I understand the frustration. I understand that we want, we want the Super Bowl. But what people missed in all that, Pete, is that Kyle has gotten us to 3 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl
Mhm.
appearance. Yes, he hasn't got us over the hump. But if you're knocking on the door enough times, you're going to end up busting through it at a certain time. But if you don't even make it to the dance, how do you expect to even get on the floor?
Mhm.
You got to make it to the dance to show your moves, right?
Yep.
People, I say this all the time. The Dallas Cowboys. When was the last time they were in an NFC Championship game? The Browns, the Jets. I
Yeah.
mean, I can go on and on. Atlanta. I can go Atlanta teams that have not been to the NFC Championship in a very long time, and a lot of time. And I say all that, and I know we're talking about the quarterbacks, but I say that because it kind of reference to how Niner fans are spoiled
Yeah.
with the quarterbacks. We're spoiled with the championships. It is Super Bowl or bust.
Mhm.
Absolutely correct. Every player, every team should be Super Bowl or bust, but you can't take away that at least we are competitive. We're fun to watch.
Mhm.
People forget really quick, Pete. They forget how many games did we lose from when we lost Mooch all the way to Harbaugh.
Yeah.
It
All
wasn't fun to watch, was it?
no. And all you can ask from an organization is to consistently put you in the conversation. Like
Yes.
I don't understand the whole thought process of we've got to get rid of Shanny if he can't get the Super Bowl.
Yep.
There are so many coaches that haven't had a sniff of the Super Bowl. And there you got all these organizations that just keep turning over coaches, coach after coach after coach. Nobody like they get a winning season, a couple of years, he's out, and then they get another coach. Like at a certain point, you just have to dig in. You have to like get through the bad times and just have some faith that you have a good process in place. You just got to get over the hump. And I really think that's where Shanny is. I think he just needs to get over the hump. He's right there. There's been some unlucky things that have happened the last couple of years, And we were literally a missed interception, an interception bouncing off the chest of Jaquaski Tart from going to a Super Bowl. We were literally a ripped off arm of our quarterback away from going at Super Bowl last season.
The one,
Just chill.
yeah, the
Just
one we
chill.
lost against the Rams was a little bit more hurtful.
Yeah.
Only, well, it was losing the quarterback sucks, but I think we would have made the Super Bowl. I'm not saying we couldn't beat we couldn't beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that, but I know for a damn sure, and I know that nobody knows nothing in real life, but I know for a damn sure that if we would have beat the Rams, if Tart would have not dropped that, because people forget when
Mhm.
Tart dropped that pass, they went and got 7 points off that
Yeah.
that we would have stopped. And then we would have, at the very least, if we didn't score a touchdown, we would have got a field goal out of it with Robbie Gould. We lost by 3 points.
Mhm.
And even if we would have won that game, there's no way you can tell me with our D line and that terrible hurt Cincinnati offensive line that we would not kick their ass.
Oh, you don't have to convince me. I just think that that was our year. I think last year was I don't think there was a team the way that offense was humming. And I know that people are going to say that, against the Cowboys they only scored 19 points. I think that that was a blip on the radar. I don't think any of the defenses after the Cowboys were close to the Cowboys defense. And they didn't have the horses to get them past the Niners. I think that if he doesn't get his arm ripped off, that we end up winning that game too. And I think we would have beat the Chiefs.
Let me ask you this question, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yep.
If I told you, you're not a Niner fan, okay? You just love football. And I told you, Niners defense is number 1.
Uh-huh.
Dallas defense is number 2.
Yeah.
Who would you put your money on? On a 7th round rookie facing the number 2 defense, or a top 5 quarterback in Dak Prescott facing the number 1 defense that has experience? Who would you put your money on? Without being honest.
I would have put it on Dak.
Thank you. Why?
But if I didn't know Dak already,
no, just based on where they're at, in their career.
I feel you. For sure.
Why?
It would have been Dak.
Even though the Niners defense is better, Dak is better at that point. And the fact that we only put 19 points, Pete, we did it with a 7th round rookie, Mr. Irrelevant. And we put more points, and he didn't turn the ball over like Mr. Turnover Machine over there, Prescott. And people are arguing about 19 points. You know what? The last time I checked, Pete, a W is a W and an L is an L. Who gives a shit the numbers? Yes, you want to win by a lot of points. You want to brag. You're a Niner fan. Yeah, we kicked their ass 43 points. But a W is a W. Who went home and who advanced? Does it matter of the 19 points? We moved on, didn't we?
Absolutely not. Yep. And this is the thing about that, and it's another reason, and we got into it in Spaces a couple days ago about this also, is the fact that everybody is so enamored with the quarterback. Yep. and everybody talks about how, we don't have a guy that can beat Pat. They don't think Brock Purdy can beat Pat Mahomes. Brock Purdy's not playing Pat Mahomes. Okay, he's not playing Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes isn't guarding Brock Purdy.
The last time I checked, they're not playing golf, right? Against each other.
Yeah, it's literally their defense against Brock Purdy and our defense against Pat Mahomes. I like the
chances. Yes,
and this is the thing. We have better players, a better complete team, and that is what people lose sight of. I think that the reason why the 49ers win so many games over the past few years is because they have a complete team. It definitely wasn't because of the quarterback position. You have to look at Like I know that in this era of football, we all look at the quarterback, but who had more yards in the which quarterback had more yards in the Super Bowl this past year?
Hurts.
Hurts had
Yes.
more yards, right? By a lot.
And he played better than
Uh,
Mahomes.
he outplayed Mahomes, but guess what happened?
Mahomes still went home with the
They
championship.
gave up. Mahomes went home with the championship, but what happened? They ran the ball down the Eagles'
Yep.
throat. They ran it down their throat, and it was a fumble for a touchdown, a fumble recovery for a touchdown. They got him another TD.
Yep.
Like it's not all about the quarterback. Once you get into the playoffs, it's about the matchup. And and your team against my team. And I like the 49ers chances against anybody. We just have to have a quarterback that is not Christian McCaffrey. That's it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Or Josh Johnson.
Real quick, I've been hearing this phrase "dog." I'm assuming it was brought up in either in training camp or brought up by
Yeah.
somebody. But Purdy is a dog. Beware of the dog. So I guess somebody gave him that nickname, dog, or the dog in a fight in him, or
Everybody, it's another one of those overused terms that anybody that's a good player, they say you got that dog
okay.
in him. But I mean,
So then I reference he's the size of a Chihuahua that has a pit bull dog in him.
yeah,
Okay, good to know.
yeah,
I'm gonna do a whole, and I'm not here to promote just my channel, but where I'm gonna go do a whole show tomorrow on Kyle Shanahan. Is he worthy? Is he overrated, underrated? Can he win the big one? Because that's what people seem to get all pissed off about. They don't like Kyle. Kyle sucks, and they don't like John Lynch. They talk about the Solomon Thomas pick. They talk about, I understand coming in 2017 that they should have scouted quarterbacks. I understand they didn't take Deshaun Watson, a back-to-back champion with Clemson. But Patrick Mahomes was not the Patrick Mahomes we know now coming out of college. So
No.
I know hindsight 2020 is everything once we know he's won 2 Super Bowls. But the whole point is he, for whatever reason, Kyle wanted Kirk Cousins. So he was willing to take a dice roll with Hoyer and wait for Cousins and then start building the defense. Because John Lynch believes back from his playing days in Tampa and the Tampa 2 defense in the front 4 with Sapp. Warren's, not Warren Sapp, but anyway, Sapp is the last name. Going after the quarterback.
It was Warren Sapp.
Yes. And so they believe in building that. And this is our strength is the defense. Now, do we need would it be nice to have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes? Absolutely. But you have Justin Herbert with the Chargers, great quarterback. I would love to have him. Hasn't even sniffed the NFC Championship. You have Trevor Lawrence, great quarterback. He hasn't sniffed a divisional game. Okay. You got all these nice quarterbacks that haven't played. And Kyle with, just put this quarterback today. Let's go with Jimmy. Let's go with a quarterback that we got on Amazon. Has got into the NFC Championship game 3 times out of 4 years. Out of 4 years. And I know that Niners, Kyle has been there 6 years, but this is me.
Yeah.
People can disagree with me all they want. I don't care. I don't count the first 2 years. What? I don't, because what people forget to realize that when Harbaugh came in here, he took over a well-oiled machine that that nobody knew how to drive that car. He took over and drove it smoothly to championship games and a Super Bowl. Kyle had to rebuild the engine of that nice car. He had to put it all together.
I mean, it was barren.
It was barren. Not even a paint job.
Barren. Yeah, they had DeForest Buckner and they had Eric Armstead.
Okay, paint job.
And that's it.
Nothing inside.
That's it.
No seats, nothing. You had to, and people forget it takes a minute to build a roster. That's why
Yeah.
we overpaid for Juice. And people
Yeah.
forget too, nobody wanted to come to the Niners until that point. And the Niners are not
And
viewed the way they
that's
viewed today as they were when they first took over.
yeah. That's something for every bad team. If you're that's how you know you're bad is when your team is overpaying for
Yep.
players, if you're a bad team. You're a bad team because when you're a bad team, you have to overpay.
Yes. Nobody wants to
And
come.
then yeah, you have to overpay and hopefully you can get that guy in there that can kickstart that that culture, but if it doesn't catch, now you just got an overpaid player.
Yes.
And and that's what it is. But with Kyle, he overpaid for players that but the culture stuck.
Yes.
And it was really you can say what you want about Kyle not picking the right quarterback, but I will say that he did an awesome job pretty much everywhere else. Did he hit on every player? No. But no team hits on every player. No team.
Absolutely.
So, what are we talking about? Like, I mean, the fact of the matter, I mean, the fact of how many guys they've hit on in later
Preacher,
rounds.
brother.
I mean, it's that doesn't happen at all ever in the history of this game. So we should be really I mean, we should be really happy with the coach that we have that he's able to take those late round picks and cultivate his coaching staff. He has the best coaching staff in the league.
Yes.
There's no team that has a better coaching staff than the 49ers. So you've got the best coaching
And he
staff.
gets brothers
You can
paid.
Yeah, he brings in reclamation projects and gets those guys
Yep.
contracts. So, as much as you want to hate on him for not getting you to a Super Bowl, he's put you in a position to root for this team into the playoffs, into the playoffs every single season for the last 3 seasons.
Yep. Hey, listen, if you're a black coach and you want to be a positional coach and you want to be a head coach, come and play for Kyle. He'll get you a job. And I'm being sincere. He gets
Yeah.
a minority coach's job. He's done it twice.
And it's not black. It's not just black. It's every.
Well, I say black because that's the
look
only
at
ones
look
he
at
had, but he'll get a Mexican if you get a Mexican in there.
Yeah, look at his what's it
Resume?
called? If you go through the coaching staff right now, it's just all over the
Yeah.
board. It's all over the board. So I feel that Kyle is not about all that nonsense and about as much as he got his job because he probably wouldn't be where he is without his dad. But he's not about that.
Nope.
He does not let that run him. He brings in good coaches. And it seems like this coaching staff gets better every single season.
It does. And starting from scratch, we're going to be ending the show, guys. You guys, we appreciate every guys that is in here.
Yep.
It's just listen, trust and believe in what Kyle and John Lynch is building. Yes, they miss and some picks, but look at all the picks they hit. The George Kittles in the 5th round, the Greenlaws, the Hufanga in the 6th. You got all these players in the later rounds, and they miss a couple of players, but overall, this roster has been built and has also been what's the word I'm looking? Help me out here. Develop, I guess, or
Developed and I mean
cultivated,
yeah. However you want to
put
call it.
These players are not just you'll get the occasional players like Hargrave that comes in at free agency, but the most players are developed by the coaches on the roster, and
they might not get hit right away. They might not hit right away. Colton McKivitz was drafted 3 seasons ago, and now he's a starter. So however you look at that, you might want to say, oh well, we don't even know what Colton McKivitz is. They have enough confidence in him that he is the starter. Aaron Banks, we thought that he was going to be nothing. He looked terrible the first off season. They told him to get back in the lab, and he came back and he looked phenomenal last season. Then you've got, I mean, we could keep going. They've got. I think Samuel Womack is going to have a say about this season. I think that there's going to be a lot of players that have been. I mean, TDP. We just finished talking about
Yep.
TDP. Didn't necessarily hit in the beginning, but now he's looking a lot better. About to hit his stride. That's coaching.
Yes, sir. I mean, when you
That's
got the two
coaching.
best back there, you got Anthony Lynn and what's his name? The other one, the older
Yeah.
man,
Wait. Who are we talking about? Bobby
Bobby's
Turner.
Bobby Turner. Yeah, when you got Bobby Turner and Anthony Lynn back there, man, you know you're getting coached. If you can't make it as a running back under those two guys,
Mm-hmm.
then I don't even know how you made it to the NFL in the
Yeah,
first place.
for real.
You know, because
And I
those
mean,
guys are great coaches.
Trey Sermon, I thought that he was gonna. I thought he might flourish with somebody else, and he fell off the radar.
I heard, I don't know if he had learning disability, but I heard that he just can't retain information. I don't know how he did it, but I know college. Sometimes college is different than the pros, man, in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. That's why a lot of head coaches, like what's his name from Alabama, he'd rather coach college. He tried at the NFL, couldn't do it. You can't control big, men making more money than you do on the NFL compared to college. These kids, you can threaten these kids with their scholarship, and they'll listen. Full grown men with making more money,
Yeah.
yeah, good luck with that. But Pete, as fun as it is, man, and as long as we can continue to go, we do got to end it. It's been fun. It's always fun teaming up with you, Pete. I enjoy
Absolutely.
our team up with you, and we look forward to talking more sports next Wednesday. Everyone, make sure to go to Pete's, subscribe. This is what somebody mentioned it yesterday. I forgot who it was, but I love that idea. If you're watching this video and I didn't mention your name, it's not because I'm trying to take credit. I just can't remember, but you know who you are. Open up two browsers. Whenever there's a show going on, like the NinerSickness podcast and the Fanatic podcast, open
Mm.
up two browsers. All you got to do is hit the like and on each one and help us out. Make sure to support each of us and continue to support us. We will be here next Wednesday, God willing, at 6 p.m. Pacific, talking more 49er football. Before we go, do you have anything going on the rest of the week you want to promote?
Yeah, I got my show tomorrow. I got one more show that for the week tomorrow after training camp, so it'll probably be around 6:30 Pacific time. That's the Niner Fanatic podcast. I am on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I am on Twitter, and also if you don't like looking at my face, you can always listen to the audio podcast, and you can get it anywhere where you get your audio podcast. So I don't care where you get it, just get it. And just like Beto was saying, just remember, tell a friend to tell a friend so we can be friends
Yeah, we all
every
want to be
day,
friends.
every week. And like we just want this community to keep building, and so that we can help each other through through this life and this season that we're about to get into. So yeah, Beto, I'm and really enjoyed being here tonight, and yeah, looking forward to next Wednesday.
I look for every Wednesday. Absolutely. Jess just came
Oh,
on
Jess in the
saying
building.
hello. She's hosting her own
Prayers up,
channel.
Jess.
Today she had Larry Kruger and Jack Hammer on her show. She had Jesse Sapolo last week. The week before that, she had Spencer Buford. She is doing some amazing work at her channel. Make sure to follow her at the East Coast Red and Gold podcast every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, unless they have a special guest. Times may change, but normally that's their routine. And then she is also my co-host on Fridays. Every Friday, Niners Now podcast. You can see us on my channel, or I would appreciate if everybody goes to the Niners Now podcast and subscribe there. And we have our show every Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. So make sure to check us out. Oh, Pete, again, it's always a pleasure teaming up with you, man. You're a lot of fun. Let's continue this, and I'll see you next Wednesday. The same channel. How does it go with the Batman thing? Same bad channel, same bad time, or something like that.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Peace, guys. Well,